There is a law woven into the very fabric of existence, a law that reveals how your inner world becomes your outer experience. The quantum law teaches that you are a living transmitter in the vast field of infinite possibility, and the mirror that answers can only reflect the frequency you embody. As you enter this awakening field, you will realize that manifestation is not struggle, but sacred resonance. Align your consciousness, and the universe will respond in perfect harmony. The Quantum Law. Introduction. There exists a hidden ordinance moving silently beneath all creation, a sacred decree known as the Quantum Law. It is not written in books nor carved in stone, yet it governs the rise and fall of every circumstance in your life. At its core lives a revelation both simple and profound. Your consciousness does not merely observe reality. It calls it forth through resonance. You are not a solitary being wandering an indifferent universe. You are a radiant transmitter within an infinite field of living intelligence. Each thought you entertain, each emotion you cherish or condemn, releases a subtle vibration into the unseen fabric of existence. These are not idle mental whispers. They are currents of energy, forming a signature so distinct that the universe must answer in kind. What returns to you is not chance, nor reward, nor punishment. It is reflection. The quantum law responds with immaculate precision, arranging people, events, and opportunities into patterns that mirror your dominant inner state. For consciousness is not separate from the cosmos. It is the cosmos expressing itself as you. When you awaken to this unity, manifestation ceases to be effortful striving and becomes a graceful unfolding. The mystery, then, is not how to force reality to bend, but how to refine the instrument within. When your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs converge in harmony with your desire, you generate a sacred coherence, a harmonic summons the universe cannot ignore. You do not chase what you seek, you become it. Strike a tuning fork in a silent room, and another of equal frequency will tremble in response. So it is with your being. When you attune yourself to abundance, love, or wisdom, their echoes awaken in the field around you, crystallizing into lived experience. Gratitude, therefore, is not mere politeness of spirit. It is a vibrational command that multiplies blessings. Each moment offers you a choice: to broadcast unconsciously, or to tune yourself deliberately to the highest octave of your becoming. The infinite field waits, attentive and responsive. And as you learn to master your frequency, you will discover that reality has been listening to you all along. Before we get into the book, comment "I am ready" to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1. The Awakening Field. Chapter 1. The Mirror That Answers. In a dimly lit room, Millie Clark stood before a cracked mirror, tracing the jagged lines that split her reflection into fragments. As she gazed at her splintered image, a startling awareness washed over her. Each negative thought that crossed her mind seemed to deepen the distortions, while moments of self-acceptance brought the pieces into harmonious alignment. The mirror taught Millie what ancient sages had known for millennia. The world outside shapes itself to match your inner landscape. Your emotional frequency creates a template that reality must follow. For such is the nature of the quantum dance between consciousness and creation. When you understand this principle, you begin to witness how your persistent emotional states magnetize corresponding experiences. A mind clouded with doubt attracts situations that reinforce uncertainty, while a heart filled with trust draws forth evidence of life's benevolence. The outer world has no choice but to reflect your dominant inner state. This is not philosophy, but quantum mechanics at its most fundamental level. Your consciousness acts as a tuning fork, setting the frequency that reality must match. This is why masters of manifestation focus not on changing external circumstances, but on cultivating their internal garden of thoughts and feelings. Consider the transformation of Calvin Brooks, who discovered this truth through an elegant experiment. Each morning, he began speaking to his reflection with genuine warmth and appreciation. "You are worthy," he would say, meeting his own eyes with compassion. "You are enough." What began as a simple practice soon rippled outward in remarkable ways. Within days, Calvin noticed subtle shifts in how the world responded to him. Strangers offered genuine smiles, colleagues sought his counsel, and opportunities seemed to arise naturally in his path. He hadn't changed his external actions. He had altered his quantum signature, and the universe adjusted accordingly. Ancient practice, the mirror of self-recognition. As you complete this chapter, approach any mirror with renewed awareness. Notice the words you speak silently to yourself as you meet your own gaze. If you detect harshness or judgment, consciously soften your inner dialogue until it flows with the warmth of unconditional acceptance. Hold this gentle frequency for several breaths, allowing it to anchor within you. This vibrational shift, though subtle, sends powerful ripples through the quantum field, inviting reality to mirror back the love you're learning to give yourself. Remember, the universe is an infinite hall of mirrors, each reflection awaiting your conscious command. Speak love into one, and watch as love multiplies infinitely through them all. Chapter 2. The Frequency of Certainty. In the eternal dance of creation, you may recognize yourself in June Miller's story. Like many before her, June believed that hope alone would manifest her desires. Day after day, she wished upon stars, dreamed of better tomorrows, and waited for the universe to grant her deepest longings. Yet her dreams remained suspended in that ethereal realm between possibility and manifestation. The turning point arrived when June uncovered an ancient truth. The universe responds not to hope, but to the unwavering certainty that dwells in your heart. She learned that manifestation flows through the channel of absolute knowing. When she shifted from hoping to knowing, from wishing to being, the very fabric of her reality began to transform. The law reveals itself through this wisdom. Energy follows the path of your deepest conviction. When you send mixed signals, hoping yet doubting, wanting yet fearing, the universe can only return mixed results. But when you align your entire being with the frequency of certainty, creation itself bends to match your vibration. This truth echoes in the tale of Henry Dale, who discovered the power of living in the end result. Each evening, as the world grew quiet, Henry would sit in his garden, breathing in the reality he desired as though it already existed. He ceased asking when and began living now. He did not plead with the universe. Instead, he thanked it for what was already his. Through this practice, he learned that certainty needs no permission. It simply is. Henry's experience unveils a fundamental principle. The future is not a distant shore you must swim toward, but a frequency you tune into in this moment. What you rehearse in the theater of your mind becomes the script the universe must follow. Your emotional certainty serves as the bridge between the unseen and the seen. The wisdom contained within these stories points to one immutable truth. The universe mirrors back the level of certainty you maintain within. Half belief creates half results, while complete knowing manifests complete experiences. To embrace this teaching, settle into this ancient practice passed down through generations. Find a quiet moment as day turns to evening. Breathe deeply and allow your body to relax. Now, rather than reaching for what you desire, feel it as though it already exists. Let certainty fill every cell of your being. Notice how this knowing feels different from hoping. It carries the weight of truth, the lightness of completion. Rest in this feeling, allowing it to become your natural state. You are not demanding or forcing. You are simply acknowledging what already is. In this sacred space of certainty, you align with the very power that creates worlds. Chapter 3. The Science of Surrender. In the depths of quantum creation lies a paradox you must embrace to unlock the full power of manifestation. Let the tale of Lucy Reed guide you to this essential truth. Lucy, like so many seekers of abundance, believed that controlling every aspect of manifestation would ensure her desires materialized exactly as she envisioned. She crafted detailed plans, set rigid timelines, and clung desperately to specific outcomes. Yet with each attempt to control, with every rigid expectation she held, her desires seemed to drift further from her grasp. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, was teaching Lucy a fundamental truth. The tighter you grip, the more elusive your dreams become. The quantum law operates through a principle of divine paradox. While clear intention sets the course of manifestation, it is surrender that allows the energy to flow freely. Think of water. It cannot be held tightly in a clenched fist, but flows easily through open palms. So too does the energy of manifestation require space to move, shape, and materialize in ways often far more magnificent than your limited perspective can imagine. Ray Parker's journey illuminates this wisdom perfectly. For years he pursued romantic love with determined focus, crafting detailed lists of desired qualities and orchestrating countless opportunities for connection. Yet, true companionship remained beyond his reach. It was only when Ray shifted his approach that everything changed. Instead of chasing love, he began embodying it. He released his grip on outcomes and simply became a vessel of love itself, radiating warmth, compassion, and joy without attachment to results. Within months, love flowed effortlessly into Ray's life, arriving in forms more beautiful and fulfilling than he had ever imagined. His story reveals that surrender is not defeat. It is a powerful alignment with the quantum field's natural flow. When you release your iron grip on outcomes, you allow the universe's infinite intelligence to orchestrate circumstances far beyond your limited vision. This ancient practice beckons you now. Choose one persistent worry that has occupied your thoughts. Feel its weight. Acknowledge its presence. Now, with gentle intention, release it to the quantum field. Breathe deeply into the space of trust, knowing that unseen forces are already arranging circumstances for your highest good. Let your breath carry away the need to control, replacing it with serene acceptance of divine timing. In this surrender, you activate the true power of the quantum law. Chapter 4. The Emotion in Motion. In the ancient hills of possibility, a simple truth awaits your discovery. Through the ages, masters of manifestation have whispered of a force more potent than will, more transformative than action, the power of pure emotion. Peggy Jones understood this wisdom not through study, but through living. Each morning brought her a fresh lesson in quantum resonance. On days when melancholy wrapped around her thoughts like morning mist, time itself seemed to thicken. Minutes stretched into hours, and opportunities appeared distant and unreachable. Yet on mornings when she allowed joy to move through her, when she danced freely in her kitchen as sunlight streamed through windows, life responded with swift synchronicity. Phone calls brought good news, chance meetings opened doors, and solutions appeared with elegant ease. The universe speaks the language of feeling. Your emotional state is not merely a response to life. It is the magnetic pulse that draws experiences to you. Like attracts like in the quantum field, where emotion serves as the attractor pattern for manifestation. This truth rings through the ages. The feeling is the secret. Not the wanting, not the wishing, but the pure, undiluted emotion you carry within. When you master your emotional frequency, you master the art of creation itself. Walter Briggs stumbled upon this wisdom through an unexpected gateway: laughter. In moments of perceived failure or mistake, rather than turning to self-criticism, he chose to laugh. What began as a conscious choice became a natural response, transforming his relationship with life itself. Through laughter, resistance melted into acceptance, struggle dissolved into flow. His field shifted from density to lightness, and life matched his new vibration with increasing synchronicity. The wisdom in Walter's discovery lies in understanding that emotional alchemy need not be complex. A single shift in feeling state, from judgment to amusement, from tension to ease, can reset your entire quantum signature. Laughter becomes more than mere response. It becomes a tool of transformation, a bridge back to harmony with universal flow. Sacred practice, the dawn frequency. As morning light touches the world anew, choose one act that brings genuine joy to your heart. It need not be grand. Perhaps humming your favorite melody, sharing a sincere compliment, or dancing for no reason at all. As you engage in this chosen pleasure, notice how your entire field shifts. Feel how joy ripples through your being, raising your frequency naturally and effortlessly. This simple practice aligns you with the quantum field's natural state of abundance and flow. Through consistent practice, you train your field to hold higher vibrations with increasing ease, attracting experiences that match your elevated state. Chapter 5. The Code of Gratitude. In the woven tapestry of universal laws, emotion stands as the golden thread that binds intention to manifestation. Let us explore a truth that has echoed through the corridors of time: the sacred power of gratitude. Mabel Dean discovered this wisdom through an extraordinary practice. Each morning, before the sun painted the sky, she would stand in her garden and whisper "thank you" to the universe, not for what she had already received, but for the blessings still unseen. At first, this seemed foolish, expressing gratitude for that which had not yet materialized. Yet, as days turned to weeks, Mabel noticed a subtle shift in the fabric of her reality. The quantum field responds not to what is, but to what you feel to be true. When Mabel thanked the universe for abundant opportunities, they appeared. When she expressed gratitude for healing before any physical change, her body responded. Her practice revealed a fundamental truth. Gratitude is not merely a response to blessing. It is the magnetic force that draws blessing near. Consider the mathematics of appreciation. Every thank you sends a signal to the universe declaring, "This frequency delights me. Amplify it." In the quantum realm, what you appreciate appreciates. This is not wishful thinking, but the precise science of energetic resonance. Clyde Foster embraced this principle through a nightly ritual that transformed his life. As darkness settled each evening, he would write in his journal, listing not what he wanted, but what already filled his life with joy. The smallest details found their way onto his chapters. The warmth of morning sunlight, the taste of fresh bread, the kindness of strangers. With each entry, his vibration shifted from seeking to celebrating. What followed seemed miraculous to those who didn't understand the law. Each morning brought new reasons for gratitude, as though the universe conspired to validate his appreciation. His list grew longer, his joy deeper, his life richer, not because circumstances changed first, but because his frequency of gratitude attracted matching experiences. The wisdom here runs deeper than simple positive thinking. Gratitude is the language of manifestation, the bridge between desire and fulfillment. When you thank the universe in advance, you align with the frequency of having rather than wanting. This subtle shift makes all the difference. The ancient practice of preemptive gratitude. As you prepare for sleep tonight, find a quiet moment. Close your eyes and choose one simple blessing that usually goes unnoticed. Perhaps the rhythm of your breath, the comfort of your bed, or the peace of the moment. Whisper your thanks, not as mere words, but as feeling. Let this gratitude expand within you, beginning as a spark in your heart and flowing outward until your entire being resonates with appreciation. Stay with this feeling until it becomes your natural state. This is the frequency that calls forth more reasons to be grateful. Remember, the universe does not hear your words. It feels your vibration. When gratitude becomes your constant companion, abundance follows naturally, for you have learned to speak in the language of attraction itself. Chapter 6. The Image Within. In the depths of an ancient understanding lies a truth so potent it transforms mere thoughts into tangible reality. Your mind is not simply a processor of experience. It is the artist's studio where reality takes its first breath. Betty Monroe understood this truth not through study, but through an accidental discovery that changed everything. Each morning, in the soft light of dawn, she would sketch herself as she wished to be, standing tall, radiating confidence, success flowing naturally through her presence. At first, the drawing seemed like wishful thinking, a stark contrast to her current circumstances. The mirror showed hesitation in her eyes, while her sketches portrayed unwavering certainty. Yet something extraordinary began to unfold. The quantum field, ever responsive to clear images held in consciousness, started arranging circumstances to match her artistic vision. Opportunities emerged that required the confidence she had drawn. Business meetings called for the poise she had sketched. Gradually, almost imperceptibly, she found herself standing taller, speaking with more authority, moving through the world with the grace she had captured on paper. This is the secret known to masters throughout time. Imagination is not fantasy, but the blueprint room of the universe. What you picture with feeling and consistency, the quantum field accepts as instruction. Your inner eye is the architect of your outer experience. Harold Quinn discovered this same principle through a different path. Plagued by persistent doubts that manifested as physical ailments, he began a practice of visualization. Each evening, he would picture his doubts as dark clouds dissolving into pure light. He saw his body filled with radiant energy, every cell singing with vitality. Within weeks, his physicians noticed remarkable changes. His posture improved, his complexion brightened, his blood pressure normalized. The images he held in mind became the template for his physical transformation. The quantum field knows no difference between what you see with your physical eyes and what you maintain in your imagination with emotional conviction. Every image you hold becomes a mold into which energy flows. This is why the great teachers emphasize the power of vision, not as escapism, but as the first step in manifestation. The universe responds not to what you look at, but to what you see through the lens of your inner eye. When you maintain a clear image wrapped in the feeling of its reality, you create a magnetic template that draws corresponding circumstances into your experience. The sacred practice of creative visualization. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and allow your breath to find its natural rhythm. Now, with gentle intention, begin to draw in your mind's eye the version of yourself that feels completely whole and radiant. See yourself moving through life with grace and purpose. Notice the details, how you carry yourself, how you interact with others, the light in your eyes. Don't strain to create this image. Let it arise naturally, as though you're remembering rather than imagining. Feel the reality of this vision. Let your body respond as though what you see is already true. Rest in this awareness, knowing that the quantum field is already conforming to the blueprint you hold. This is not mere daydreaming. It is conscious creation at its most fundamental level. As you practice this ancient art of inner seeing, you align your frequency with the reality you wish to experience. The universe has no choice but to respond in kind. Chapter 7. The Compass of Intuition. In a bustling marketplace where merchants shouted their wares, Doris Hill stood quietly, sensing an inexplicable pull toward a narrow alleyway. Logic argued against this direction. Her destination lay clearly in the opposite direction. Yet something within her, soft but certain, beckoned her forward. Following this gentle nudge led her to discover an unmarked shop where she found precisely the business connection she had spent months seeking. This moment marked her initiation into the ancient wisdom. The universe speaks not through the clamor of rational thought, but through the whispered knowing of the heart. From that day forward, Doris ceased asking, "How?" and surrendered to the quiet guidance that arose from within. Each choice became simpler. She learned to feel her way forward rather than think her way through. The quantum field operates beyond the limitations of linear thinking. It orchestrates possibilities through an intelligence that communicates via subtle impressions, unexpected inspirations, and a sense of rightness that defies explanation. When you align with this inner knowing, life unfolds with an ease that planning could never achieve. As Doris embraced this new way of navigating, opportunities appeared as naturally as breath. Business decisions that seemed risky to others felt inevitable to her inner compass. Relationships transformed as she followed the subtle pull toward authentic connections. Success arrived not through careful calculation, but through moment-by-moment attunement to her internal guidance system. Marvin Tate's experience illuminates the cost of ignoring this inner voice. Standing before two investment options, he felt a clear inner resistance to the more logical choice. The numbers added up perfectly. The experts nodded approvingly. Yet something within him quietly urged no. Dismissing this feeling as mere anxiety, he proceeded with the rational choice, only to watch the rejected opportunity bloom into the very success he had sought. The quantum field does not speak in spreadsheets or strategic plans. It communicates through the language of feeling, through an inner knowing that precedes thought. This intelligence flows through you constantly, offering guidance more sophisticated than any external analysis could provide. Your intuition serves as a quantum compass, already calibrated to your highest good. It requires no training, only trust. When you learn to honor these subtle impulses, you align with the same intelligence that orchestrates galaxies and guides migrating birds home. The sacred practice of inner listening. As you move through your day, pause in simple moments, while waiting in line, before entering a meeting, as you choose your path forward. In these brief spaces, turn your attention inward. Notice which direction feels lighter, which choice brings a sense of expansion rather than contraction. Honor these subtle sensations as the quantum field speaking directly to you, guiding you toward your highest alignment. This ancient practice requires no special preparation or setting. It asks only that you trust the wisdom that already flows through you, recognizing that the universe's guidance system is always active, always leading you home. Chapter 8. The Signature of Belief. In the quiet town of Millbrook, Nora James lived each day as though reading from a script she couldn't change. Her mornings began with the same sigh. Her afternoons repeated familiar disappointments, and her evenings echoed with unfulfilled dreams. Though she understood the principles of manifestation, something deeper held her bound to old patterns. You see, belief operates as the foundation upon which all creation rests. When your subconscious mind carries doubt, it acts as an invisible wall, deflecting the very experiences you wish to attract. The universe responds not to what you want, but to what you accept as possible. Within the quantum field, belief serves as the permission slip for new realities to emerge. Each thought you hold creates ripples in this field, but belief determines whether these ripples become waves of transformation or merely fade back into potential. Your emotional memories write the rules of what you allow into your experience. Consider how a garden grows only what the soil supports. Similarly, your manifestations flourish only where belief has prepared fertile ground. This explains why some desires manifest easily while others remain stubbornly distant. Your belief system acts as the gatekeeper to possibility. Lloyd Hart discovered this truth through small beginnings. Rather than tackling his grandest dreams first, he started with modest goals, parking spaces, unexpected compliments, perfect timing in traffic. With each small success, he strengthened his belief muscle. He wrote down every manifestation, no matter how tiny, building a library of evidence that he could indeed influence reality. Each morning, Lloyd felt into the emotion of success before starting his day. He spoke his affirmations not as hopes, but as acknowledgments of what was already true. As his belief grew stronger, Larger manifestations began appearing with the same ease as the smaller ones had before. Lloyd's journey reveals the progressive nature of belief building. Like strengthening any muscle, it requires consistent exercise and gradual increasing of weight. Start with what feels possible, prove it to yourself, then expand into broader possibilities. Your beliefs were written in childhood experiences, cultural conditioning, and emotional memories, but they need not remain fixed. Each time you choose to believe differently, you rewrite the rules of your reality. The quantum field has no choice but to reflect back what you hold as true. The practice. Take a moment now to sit quietly. Bring to mind one belief that whispers impossible to your dreams. Smile gently at this belief, acknowledging its presence without resistance. Then, with calm certainty, whisper the words, "Watch me anyway." Feel the subtle shift as the gate of possibility creaks open. Let this become your daily practice, meeting each doubt with quiet determination, knowing that belief bends to persistence and proof. Chapter 9. The Power of Speech. Deep in the heart of a bustling marketplace, a talented artisan named Vera Lee crafted beautiful jewelry. Though her work drew admiration, her words painted a different picture. "Oh, it's nothing special," she would say, or "I just got lucky with this piece." With each dismissive comment, her sales declined, her creativity dimmed, and her opportunities dwindled. The universe listens intently to every word you speak. Each syllable carries a specific frequency, rippling through the quantum field, like stones cast upon still waters. Your words are not mere expressions of thought. They are declarations to the infinite, shaping the very fabric of your reality. When you diminish your light through speech, the universe accepts your decree. When you speak of limitation, scarcity answers. This is not punishment, but perfect reflection, the law responding to the vibration you set in motion through sound and intention. Within the quantum field, words act as seeds, each carrying specific coding for what will bloom in your experience. Harsh self-judgment plants thorns, while words of possibility cultivate gardens of opportunity. The power lies not in positive thinking alone, but in aligning your speech with the truth of your infinite potential. Consider the story of Samuel Cross, a writer who transformed his reality through conscious speech. Where once he spoke of his book as probably never getting published, he began to say, "My words touch hearts and change lives." He referred to himself as an author before securing a contract. Within months, synchronicities appeared. A literary agent at a coffee shop, a publisher seeking exactly his genre, opportunities flowing as naturally as his newly aligned words. Samuel's experience reveals a fundamental truth. The universe arranges itself according to your declarations. Speak with reverence about your dreams, and watch as reality reshapes itself to match your words. This is not magic, but law, the precise outworking of quantum resonance. Your words carry creative force. They are the brushstrokes with which you paint your tomorrow. Speaking with intention, clarity, and truth activates a field of infinite possibility around you. Ancient practice of word alchemy. As the sun rises tomorrow, observe your speech with gentle awareness. Notice the words you habitually use to describe yourself, your work, your dreams. Choose one sentence that commonly diminishes your light and transform it into a declaration of truth. Speak this new declaration 3 times, feeling its resonance in your body. Let this be your quantum signature for the day, knowing that as you speak, so shall it be. Chapter 10. The Field of Oneness. In a tranquil valley where morning mist clung to ancient trees, Clara Wells lived in isolation. Though surrounded by nature's beauty, she felt disconnected from the world, as if viewing life through a frosted window. One dawn, as she sat in reluctant meditation, the rising sun pierced through clouds, bathing her in golden light. In that moment, the boundaries between her breath and the world's breath dissolved. She witnessed how each inhale drew in the universe. Each exhale contributed to its dance. When you recognize the quantum web that binds all existence, separation reveals itself as illusion. The air you breathed was once star matter. The water in your cells once flowed through ancient seas. At the subatomic level, particles that compose your being exist in constant communion with all other particles in existence. This is not poetry. It is physics. The field of infinite possibility responds not just to your personal vibration, but to the collective frequency you generate through interaction. Each thought you project, each word you speak, each feeling you emanate ripples through the quantum fabric, touching all things. When you bless another, you elevate the entire field, including your own vibration. When you curse or judge, you distort the very medium through which your manifestations must flow. In the bustling streets of his city, Gordon Price tested this principle. Rather than rushing past faces in the crowd, he began silently blessing each person he encountered. "May you know peace," he would think, meeting eyes with strangers. "May you find joy." At first, nothing seemed to change, but gradually he noticed a shift. Warm smiles appeared more frequently, random acts of kindness multiplied in his path, and an inexplicable sense of being loved by life itself emerged. Gordon's experience demonstrates a fundamental truth. The quantum field holds perfect memory. Each blessing you offer returns multiplied. Each kindness ripples outward infinitely before circling back to its source. The universe operates not through isolated incidents, but through interconnected waves of energy, each affecting all. The ancient practice of unity. As you move through your day, pause occasionally to acknowledge the living web of connection. With each person, plant, or creature you encounter, silently offer the blessing. May all be well with you. Feel this intention radiate from your heart, knowing that as you bless the world around you, you simultaneously bless yourself. The quantum field remembers and responds to every note of kindness you contribute to its eternal symphony. Part 2. The Alchemy of Intention. Chapter 11. The Architect Mind. A master architect stood atop a hill overlooking the valley, her eyes closed, fingers tracing invisible lines in the air. For years, Ella Grant had crafted magnificent structures of steel and stone, yet something felt incomplete. One morning, as sunlight painted shadows across her drafting table, she realized she had been designing only in the physical realm, neglecting the subtle architecture of experience. The universe operates through precise design principles. Just as a building requires detailed blueprints before manifestation, so too does your desired reality demand clear emotional and mental templates. When you understand this truth, You begin to craft your experiences with the same attention an architect gives to every beam and archway. Your thoughts and feelings are the raw materials of creation. Each moment you live emerges from the blueprint you hold within. The clearer your internal design, the more precise its external expression. This is not mere visualization. It is quantum architecture, where consciousness shapes reality through resonant frequency. Later, in a quiet village, Rufus Boyd discovered this principle through an unexpected channel. Having lost his way in life, he began spending evenings sketching detailed maps of his desired future. He drew not just goals, but the feeling tone of each achievement, the texture of each relationship, the quality of each morning. Within months, his external world began reflecting these inner blueprints with startling accuracy. Rufus's experience reveals a fundamental truth. The universe responds not to vague wishes, but to precise designs. When you craft your intentions with clarity, when you feel them with conviction, you create a template that reality naturally fills. This is not forcing or controlling. It is allowing form to follow thought, just as a building rises to match its blueprint. The interpretation of Rufus's story transcends simple cause and effect. His success came not from merely wanting or hoping, but from creating such clear internal patterns that the external world had no choice but to align. He became what ancient wisdom calls a conscious creator, one who understands that all physical manifestation begins in the subtle realms of thought and feeling. The practice. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Begin to feel what beauty means to you, not as an abstract concept, but as a living vibration. Let this feeling grow until it fills your awareness. Now, with this resonance as your guide, allow your consciousness to design tomorrow. Don't force or strain. Simply let the feeling tone of beauty draw the lines of possibility. Hold this frequency gently, knowing that what you design in consciousness, the universe will architect in form. This exercise is not about controlling outcomes, but about providing clear templates for creation. Like a master architect who knows that beauty emerges from precise intention, you are learning to design not just moments, but entire realities. Let your heart be your drafting table, your emotions your measuring tools, and watch as the universe builds according to your innermost blueprints. Chapter 12. The Energy of Receiving. In the silent depths of dawn, Sadie Bell kneels beside her bed, hands clasped tightly, prayers flowing like an endless river. Yet with each passionate plea, her desires seem to drift further away. Her story unveils a fundamental truth about the quantum field. It responds not to desperation, but to receptivity. You see, the universe operates through an exquisite balance. When you grasp too firmly at what you seek, you create resistance in the very fabric of creation. Sadie's ceaseless prayers reflect a belief in absence rather than presence, a focus on what's missing rather than what's materializing. The quantum field responds to the subtle art of allowing. It is not moved by the volume of your requests, but by the openness of your energy field. When you pray or set intentions, the key lies not in the asking, but in the receiving state you embody. This state feels like a gentle expectancy, a quiet knowing that good is already in motion. Consider how a flower opens to morning light. It doesn't strain or struggle. It simply unfolds in natural response. This is the art of receiving that the universe recognizes. Your role is not to force manifestation through sheer will. but to cultivate an inner environment where abundance naturally flows. Norman Tate discovered this truth through an unexpected path. For years, he deflected compliments and brushed aside recognition, believing humility meant denying his worth. But as he learned to simply say, "Thank you," when praised, to accept gifts with grace, his entire field shifted. What began with accepting kind words expanded into receiving opportunities, resources, and support in all forms. The quantum law reveals that your capacity to receive in small ways directly affects your ability to attract larger blessings. Each time you accept a compliment with grace, each moment you allow someone to help you, you broadcast to the universe, "I am worthy of receiving." This signal ripples outward, attracting more to appreciate, more to accept, more to embrace. The universe seeks to give. This is its natural motion. Your task is not to convince it of your worthiness, but to align with its generous nature. When your heart softens into receptivity, when your energy field relaxes into trust, you become a natural channel for abundance. The practice. Find a quiet moment and settle into a comfortable position. Place your hands over your heart and breathe deeply into your chest. With each breath, feel your capacity for receiving expand like gentle waves. As your chest rises and falls, whisper thank you for everything already making its way to you. Let this gratitude soften any resistance, any unworthiness, any doubt. Rest in this space of open-hearted receiving, knowing that as you relax into acceptance, the universe responds with increasing generosity. Chapter 13. The Resonant Habit. In the soft light of morning, Ruby Hayes stands at her window, watching the first rays touch the world. Where once her mind raced with concerns about the day ahead, she now cultivates a different energy. Each dawn becomes her sanctuary of wonder, a moment when possibility sparkles like dew on grass. The universe responds to vibrational consistency. Just as a musician must practice daily to master an instrument, you too must maintain the frequency of your desires with steady dedication. It is not the intensity of a single moment that shapes reality, but the patient persistence of your emotional tone. When you understand this principle, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. Your repeated focus on joy, wonder, and expectancy creates a groove in the quantum field. Each positive thought adds momentum to this sacred spiral, drawing more experiences that match your sustained vibration. Ruby discovered that her morning practice of wonder began to extend beyond those early hours. Her consistent choice to see magic in the ordinary altered the fabric of her entire day. Small synchronicities multiplied, opportunities emerged from unexpected quarters, and life began responding to her wavelength of appreciation. Consider the ocean. Its power lies not in a single wave, but in its eternal rhythm. Similarly, your creative force grows strongest through daily renewal of uplifting emotions. The quantum field remembers and responds to patterns, not isolated peaks of intensity. Clyde Morton embraced this wisdom by crafting a simple ritual. Each evening, he would light a candle and spend 10 minutes basking in pure anticipation of good. He didn't strain or struggle. He simply allowed himself to feel the joy of knowing that wonderful things were unfolding. Over time, this practice became his anchor, a daily appointment with miracle consciousness. What emerged in Clyde's life wasn't just random good fortune. It was the natural result of maintained vibration. His morning coffee began carrying hints of celebration. His commute became an adventure of possibility. Ordinary moments transformed into extraordinary confirmations that the universe was conspiring in his favor. Your ability to manifest flows from your capacity to maintain emotional coherence. It's not about forcing positivity, but about cultivating a genuine sense of wonder that becomes your default frequency. The quantum law teaches that sustained emotion creates momentum. Like a wheel gaining speed, your consistent vibration builds power through repetition. Each time you choose wonder over worry, you add energy to this momentum. Sacred practice. Identify the moment in your day when joy comes most naturally. It might be the first sip of morning tea, a quiet walk, or the sunset painting the sky. Take this moment and let its feeling expand within you. Return to this same feeling throughout your day, letting it ripple through your hours like a gentle bell calling you back to wonder. As you practice this daily, notice how life begins orchestrating itself around your sustained note of joy. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Pulse of Giving. Along a quiet street in the heart of autumn, Joan Perry places fresh bread on her elderly neighbor's doorstep before dawn. No note, no recognition sought, just the quiet satisfaction of giving freely. In that moment, she feels a shift within her being, as though the very act of giving has opened a channel through which abundance flows more freely. The universe operates on a principle of circulation, like breath moving in and out, like tides flowing back and forth. Energy must move to remain vital. When you hold tightly to what you have, you create resistance in the quantum field. But when you give with an open heart, you declare to the universe your trust in its endless supply. This is not about quantity, but quality of intention. Each act of giving sends ripples through the fabric of reality, creating spaces for new blessings to enter. The field responds not to what you give, but to the feeling behind your giving. When you share from abundance rather than sacrifice, you align with the natural flow of universal energy. Victor Lane discovered this truth through an unexpected chain of events. Each month, he quietly transferred funds to support local arts programs, never revealing himself as the donor. As weeks passed, his business began to flourish in unprecedented ways. New clients appeared as if guided by an invisible hand. Opportunities emerged from unexpected directions. The universe was reflecting back his own generosity, multiplied. The quantum field operates through symmetric exchange. What you release returns, transformed. This is not transaction but transformation. The energy of giving creates a resonance that attracts similar frequencies. When you give without attachment to recognition or reward, you activate the highest vibration of abundance. Your generosity becomes a declaration of faith in universal supply. Each time you share freely, you strengthen your connection to the infinite flow of good. The field responds not to what you want, but to what you demonstrate you believe through your actions. The practice. Find one opportunity today to give without recognition. Let it be something small and heartfelt, a kind word, a helping hand, an anonymous gift. As you give, focus not on what you're releasing, but on the feeling of abundance that allows you to share. Notice how your heart expands in that moment of giving, how complete you feel without needing anything in return. This is the frequency of true abundance, the knowing that in giving you are already full. Chapter 15. The Clarity Current. In a small town between mountains, Annie Ross wandered through her days like a leaf caught in an aimless breeze. Each morning brought new wishes, each evening different dreams. Her desires shifted as frequently as clouds across the sky, leaving no single intention time to take root in the fertile soil of the quantum field. You see, the universe responds not to fleeting thoughts but to focused energy. When your desires scatter like seeds in a windstorm, they find no ground in which to grow. Annie's story teaches a fundamental truth of manifestation. Confusion creates confusion, while clarity creates clarity. The quantum field mirrors the precision of your thoughts. It is like a vast ocean that forms itself around the shape of your intentions. When those intentions waver, so too does the response of the universe. But when you hold steady in your knowing, reality has no choice but to conform to the mold you've created. Through Annie's journey, we uncover the law that governs all creation. Energy flows where attention goes, but only with the force of certainty behind it. Each time she changed her mind, she diluted the power of her previous intention, creating ripples that canceled each other out in the cosmic sea of possibility. This truth revealed itself with striking clarity through Dennis Vaughn's experience. One morning, tired of drifting, he sat at his wooden desk and wrote a single sentence describing exactly what he wished to create. The words flowed from his pen with unwavering certainty. I am now a successful author whose words touch hearts and transform lives. He spoke these words each morning with the same conviction one uses to state their own name. He felt their truth in his bones, saw their reality in his mind's eye, and held their essence in his heart. Within weeks, synchronicities began appearing. A chance meeting with a publisher, an unexpected invitation to speak at a writers' conference, a viral blog post that caught the attention of literary agents. The universe had responded not to his wish, but to his clarity. Like a laser beam cutting through fog, his focused intention carved a path through the quantum field, attracting precisely what matched his crystallized thought. Here lies the secret. The universe cannot deliver clarity from confusion. It can only match the vibration you maintain. When you scatter your energy across multiple desires, you receive scattered results. But when you distill your intention to its purest form, reality rushes to mirror that precision. The practice. Find a quiet moment today. Speak one desire aloud, not a list, not a maybe, but one clear intention. Feel its vibration resonate through your being, pure and undiluted. Let it travel outward like light through clear glass, knowing the universe responds to such clarity with equal precision. Hold this moment of crystalline focus and watch as the quantum field begins its dance of manifestation. Chapter 16. The Sacred Pause. In the bustling heart of a city that never rests, Lena Burke raced through her days with the fierce determination of someone trying to outrun time itself. Her manifestations felt like scattered seeds thrown hastily onto unprepared soil, some sprouting weakly, others failing to take root at all. Each morning, she would write her intentions rapidly, speak her affirmations quickly, and rush through visualizations as if speed could somehow accelerate the universe's response. The quantum field, however, operates on principles far more subtle than human haste. Like a pond disturbed by too many stones, Lena's constant activity created ripples that interfered with each other, distorting the clear reflection of her desires. Her urgency created static in the field, drowning out the whispered guidance of universal wisdom. Within the depths of quantum consciousness lies a profound truth. Manifestation flourishes in the spaces between action. Just as music requires both notes and rests to create harmony, creation requires both movement and stillness. When you pause, you allow the universe to arrange its infinite possibilities into perfect alignment with your desires. The field of infinite potential speaks in silence, writes in stillness, and creates in the quiet moments between thoughts. Your role is not to force manifestation, but to allow it, to create space in which your desires can materialize naturally, like dew forming on morning grass. In the quiet sanctuary of his home, Randall Shaw discovered this truth through an unexpected path. Each morning, before the world awakened, he would sit in perfect silence for 30 minutes. No affirmations, no visualizations, just pure, receptive awareness. At first it felt like wasted time, but gradually solutions to long-standing problems began appearing in his mind, fully formed, as if delivered by an unseen hand. Business opportunities emerged effortlessly, relationships healed themselves, and creative insights flowed like a gentle stream. He hadn't changed his external actions. He had simply created space for the universe to speak, and in that space, manifestation occurred naturally, elegantly, and completely. The quantum field requires no force, only invitation. When you rest in stillness, you align with the natural rhythm of creation. Like a master artist who steps back from their canvas to allow the full picture to emerge, your pause creates space for the universe to complete its work. The ancient practice of stillness. Allow one unfilled moment today to simply be sensing creation already completing itself quietly. In this sacred pause, feel the gentle assurance that everything is already in motion, arranging itself perfectly without your interference. Let the universe whisper its wisdom in the silence of your trust. Chapter 17. The field remembers. In the depths of silence lies creation's most potent secret. Yet this truth remains hidden from those who rush endlessly forward, never pausing to let wisdom catch up with their footsteps. You have likely felt this tension, the urgent need to make things happen, warring against the subtle knowing that force often creates resistance. Consider Flora Cook, who spent years trying to manifest abundance while carrying the weight of her past, like heavy stones in her pockets. Each morning, she would diligently practice gratitude and visualization, yet found herself repeatedly encountering the same financial struggles, the same relationship patterns, the same barriers to success. The universe seemed deaf to her desires, but in truth, it was merely echoing back the frequency she maintained within. What Flora had yet to discover was that unresolved emotions create quantum imprints that replicate themselves through time. Like a record playing the same groove over and over, these stored vibrations send out signals that attract matching circumstances. The past does not exist in linear time, but as energy patterns held in the present moment. The shift began when Flora realized that her childhood experiences of lack weren't just memories. They were active frequencies still broadcasting through her field. Each time she blamed her parents for her scarcity mindset. Each moment she held on to old hurts. She was reinforcing these patterns in the quantum fabric of her reality. True transformation arrived through forgiveness, not the superficial kind that says it's okay while holding on to resentment, but the deep release that understands all experiences serve our evolution. As Flora began to thank her past for its lessons, the energy started to shift. Her field cleared, like muddy water settling to reveal crystalline clarity. Chester Lowe's story mirrors this truth. For 30 years, he carried bitterness toward his former business partner, who had betrayed his trust. The moment he finally released this resentment, truly released it, his entire life transformed. Within days, new opportunities appeared, as if they had been waiting patiently for him to clear the channel. The quantum field holds no judgment about your past. It simply reflects whatever vibration you maintain. When you shift that vibration through forgiveness, the field must respond accordingly. Your history is not carved in stone, but written in energy, ready to be transformed by your conscious choice to release and renew. The ancient practice of quantum forgiveness. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and bring to mind those past experiences that still carry emotional charge. Imagine them surrounded by soft, healing light. Breathe deeply and whisper, "Thank you for teaching me." Feel the energy of these old patterns dissolving, making space for new possibilities to emerge. Let the light grow brighter until you sense the completion of this release. Know that as you forgive, the universe forgets, and your field resets to pure potential. Chapter 18. The Alignment of Desire. Once there lived a woman named Marjorie Pope, who pursued her goals with such fierce determination that her very intensity pushed them further away. Each morning she would wake with a heavy sense of desperation, clutching her desires so tightly that they began to wither in her grasp. Her dreams of creative success felt more like burdens than beacons, and the universe seemed to respond with equal resistance. The more Marjorie craved success, the more it eluded her. Her art studio became a place of tension rather than inspiration, each brushstroke weighted with anxiety about outcomes. She measured every creation against what it might bring her rather than what it might express through her. This wanting from lack created a frequency of need that echoed back only more need. Here lies a fundamental truth of the quantum field. It responds not to the object of desire, but to the emotional tone carrying that desire. When you reach for something from a place of desperate wanting, you broadcast the frequency of absence. The universe can only mirror back that same emptiness. But when you align with a dream from the lightness of joy, you emanate the frequency of fulfillment, and the field naturally orchestrates matching experiences. Clyde Adams discovered this truth through a simple shift in approach. After years of pursuing what he thought he should want, he began following only what brought him genuine delight. He stopped forcing himself toward goals that felt heavy, and instead allowed his natural enthusiasm to guide him. Where once he had pushed against resistance, he now flowed with inspiration. His mornings in the garden, once scheduled as obligation, became moments of pure pleasure. He planted flowers simply because their colors made him smile. Soon, neighbors began stopping to admire his garden. This led to requests for landscaping advice, which blossomed into a thriving business born purely from following his joy. The quantum field recognized Clyde's authentic alignment with happiness and responded by expanding that same energy through all aspects of his life. His success came not from striving, but from allowing himself to be carried by genuine enthusiasm. The universe speaks the language of feeling, and joy is its most harmonious dialect. When you pursue what truly delights your spirit, you align with the natural creative force of life itself. Your desires become not weights to bear, but wings to lift you. The practice. As the sun rises tomorrow, sit quietly and scan your heart's landscape. Notice which dreams feel light, which goals bring a smile unbidden to your lips. Where do you feel playful possibility rather than heavy obligation? Take one small step in that direction today, trusting that joy is your surest compass. Let your energy flow naturally toward what delights you, knowing that the universe conspires to multiply authentic happiness. Chapter 19. The Magnetic Word, Yes. In the quiet hills overlooking an ancient valley, Beatrice Cole lived a life carefully contained within the borders of certainty. Each morning, she would watch the sunrise paint possibilities across the sky, yet her response to life's invitations remained a reflexive no. This habitual rejection stemmed not from wisdom but from fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of change, fear of what might unfold if she dared to expand beyond her familiar boundaries. The universe, in its infinite patience, continued offering her doorways of opportunity, a chance to speak at a gathering of artists, an invitation to showcase her work in a distant gallery, possibilities to travel and teach, each one met with the same protective withdrawal. Yet beneath each denial, a small voice whispered of adventures unlived and gifts ungiven. When you say no to life, you tell the quantum field to maintain its current pattern. Every refusal becomes a signal for contraction, a request for the familiar rather than the extraordinary. The law of attraction responds not to your words alone, but to the vibration of your choices. A no, born of fear, creates a frequency of limitation that the universe must honor. The shift began when Beatrice discovered that saying yes was not merely a word, but a vibrational decree. Each affirmative response sends ripples through the quantum field, creating openings for synchronicity and expansion. The universe delights in agreement, meeting your yes with amplified opportunity. Lester Boyd's story mirrors this truth with elegant simplicity. On a rain-swept evening, when comfort urged him homeward, he received an unexpected invitation to a small gathering. Against his usual inclination, he chose yes. That single decision led him to meet the mentor who would transform his understanding of art and life. In that room, among strangers who would become allies, Lester discovered that one moment of brave receptivity could unlock doors he never knew existed. The law reveals that consent is creation in motion. When you align with possibility, possibility aligns with you. Each yes becomes a note in the symphony of manifestation, calling forth experiences that match your new vibration of openness. The universe cannot give to a closed hand or speak through a shuttered heart. Your relationship with opportunity shapes the field of your experience. When fear whispers, "Stay small," remember that expansion is the natural state of life itself. The quantum field responds not to your caution, but to your courage, not to your hesitation, but to your wholehearted embrace of what could be. Sacred practice. As you move through your day, notice when an opportunity presents itself. It may arrive as a subtle suggestion, an unexpected invitation, or a gentle nudge toward something new. Rather than responding from habit, pause and feel into the energy of the moment. If you sense even a glimmer of excitement, even a spark of joyful possibility, turn toward it. Breathe deeply and whisper your yes to the field. Let this agreement be full and free from doubt. Feel how this single word opens channels of flow within and around you, inviting the universe to match your courage with its infinite capacity for wonderful surprises. Chapter 20. The Silent Agreement. In the stillness before dawn, Jackie Webb knelt by her window, her prayers echoing against the walls. Day after day, she pleaded with the universe, her voice growing hoarse with desperation. Yet her desires remained suspended in the space between asking and receiving. Through her determined supplications, she failed to notice that manifestation speaks a quieter language. The truth whispers beneath the noise of wanting. The universe responds not to volume, but to vibration. When you understand this sacred principle, you realize that creation completes itself in the spaces between words, in the calm certainty that needs no voice. Your role is not to convince the universe of your worthiness, but to align with the silent knowing that what you seek already exists. Consider how a seed transforms into a flower. It makes no sound, issues no demands. It simply holds the quiet certainty of its becoming. This is the art of masterful manifestation. You need not shout your intentions to the heavens or repeat endless affirmations. Instead, cultivate the peaceful awareness that your good is already in motion. Earl Knox discovered this truth during a period of enforced silence. Unable to speak for medical reasons, he found himself sinking into a profound inner stillness. In this quietude, he noticed something remarkable. His dreams began materializing with surprising ease. A job opportunity arrived through an unexpected email. A perfect apartment became available just as he needed it. Love walked into his life wearing a gentle smile. Without uttering a word, his reality rearranged itself to match his inner serenity. What Earl discovered reflects an eternal principle. The universe responds most powerfully to the quietest certainty. When you release the need to constantly affirm, plead, or convince, you enter the realm of pure creation. Like a still lake, perfectly reflecting the sky, your serene consciousness becomes the mirror through which manifestation flows unobstructed. The ancient practice of silent knowing. Find a peaceful moment in your day. Sit quietly and bring to mind something you desire to manifest. Rather than speaking about it or affirming it, simply smile inwardly at its completion. Feel the calm certainty that it is already formed in the quantum field, requiring only your peaceful acknowledgement to emerge into form. Let this silent agreement between you and the universe be your most powerful prayer. Part 3. The Embodied Creator. Chapter 21. The Living Proof. In a small office at the edge of town, Opal Burns made a decision that would transform her existence. Rather than waiting for life to give her reasons to feel joyful, she chose to radiate happiness first. Each morning she walked through the doors of her workplace, carrying the vibration of someone already living her dreams. The universe responds not to what you want, but to what you are. This principle reveals itself as the cornerstone of quantum creation. Your emotional frequency acts as a living command to the field of infinite possibility. When you embody the feeling of your desire as though it already exists, you transmit an unshakable signal that the universe must match. Opal didn't merely think positive thoughts or repeat affirmations. She lived from the energy of fulfillment. In meetings, she carried herself with the confidence of someone already in a leadership position. In her relationships, she glowed with the warmth of someone deeply loved. With her health, she moved with the vitality of someone in perfect wellness. Within months, life responded to her embodied frequency. A surprise promotion appeared, bringing with it the exact salary she had imagined. A chance encounter bloomed into profound love. Her body naturally aligned with vibrant health, as though catching up to the well-being she had been radiating. The quantum field knows no difference between what you feel and what is real. It simply mirrors back the frequency you maintain. This is why Frank Neal's story proves so illuminating. Living in modest circumstances, he began to feel the ease and grace of abundance. He walked through his day sensing the security of wealth flowing through his experience. He didn't pretend or fake it. He simply allowed himself to resonate with prosperity. Soon, unexpected business opportunities emerged. Investment possibilities revealed themselves. His skills found new markets eager for his expertise. The universe orchestrated a symphony of abundance around him, matching his inner song of wealth. This law operates with mathematical precision. What you embody energetically must materialize physically. You need not wait for external conditions to shift before allowing yourself to vibrate at the frequency of your desires. The secret lies in becoming the energy first, knowing the physical world will reshape itself to match your new emission. The ancient practice of embodied being. Step into your next moment as though your wish already breathes through you. Feel its presence in your cells, your movements, your smile. Let every gesture reflect the reality you have chosen to embody. As you walk through your day, maintain this frequency of completion, smiling at its inevitability. The universe has no choice but to orchestrate circumstances that mirror your embodied truth. Chapter 22. The Bridge of Joy. In a small town bustling with whispered conflicts, Hazel Dunn discovered a truth that transcended logic, the power of authentic laughter to dissolve discord. Where others saw problems requiring mental solutions, she found that joy itself carried healing frequencies that restored harmony without effort. When neighbors disputed property lines, Hazel's genuine laughter during mediation sessions seemed to lift the heavy energy, allowing peaceful resolutions to emerge naturally. Not because she made light of serious matters, but because her joy carried a frequency that transformed the very field in which conflicts existed. The quantum field responds instantaneously to coherent emotional signals. Joy represents one of the highest frequencies available to human consciousness. When you access genuine joy, you alter the vibrational foundation of any circumstance. This is not about forcing happiness or denying reality. It is about understanding that emotional coherence reorganizes energy at the quantum level. Hazel never tried to think her way through problems. Instead, she allowed her natural joy to radiate, watching as situations that seemed hopelessly tangled began to untangle themselves. The universe responds not to your analysis, but to your energetic signature. Joy creates a frequency that allows solutions to emerge organically. This truth found further evidence in Wilbur Frost's experience. Facing a stack of debt notices that threatened to overwhelm him, Wilbur made an unusual choice. Rather than sink into worry, he began humming his favorite melodies while reviewing his finances. not to escape reality, but to maintain a higher frequency while engaging with it. As he maintained this practice of joy amid challenge, unexpected pathways opened. A forgotten investment matured. A new business opportunity emerged. Payment plans appeared that hadn't been available before. The quantum field responded not to his problem, but to his frequency. This teaches us that joy acts as a magnetic force, attracting harmonious outcomes that the analytical mind could never devise. When you maintain joy in the face of apparent discord, you emit a frequency that the universe must match with corresponding circumstances. The ancient practice of joyful dissolution. Select one challenge currently present in your life. Allow yourself to laugh gently, not at the situation, but with the knowing that all energy seeks harmony. As you laugh, imagine your challenge dissolving into pure music, transforming from dense matter into light vibration. Hold this practice for a few moments, sensing how new patterns of harmony naturally begin to form. The universe cannot help but respond to your frequency of joy with matching revelations of grace. Chapter 23. The Effortless Shift. In the quiet hills of a small village, Iris Stone pursued excellence with relentless determination. Each morning she would rise before dawn, meticulously planning every detail of her day. Her garden must be perfect, her work flawless, her home immaculate. Yet the more she pushed, the more life seemed to resist her efforts. One autumn afternoon, exhaustion finally overtook her. As she sank into her favorite chair, something remarkable occurred. In that moment of complete surrender, the sunlight streaming through her window cast dancing patterns on the wall. For the first time in years, she simply watched, allowing herself to be present without trying to control or improve anything. In this state of relaxation, solutions began flowing effortlessly. Projects that had seemed impossible suddenly unfolded with natural grace. The universe, it seemed, had been waiting for her to soften before revealing its gifts. This truth extends beyond Iris's garden to the very essence of creation. When you release the grip of perfectionism, you align with the natural current of manifestation. Strain creates resistance, while ease allows energy to flow unimpeded. The quantum field responds not to force, but to harmony. Patrick Snow discovered this wisdom through necessity. His architectural firm faced mounting deadlines, and his usual approach of pushing harder yielded diminishing returns. One morning, rather than rushing to his desk, he paused. Taking 3 deep breaths, he allowed himself to feel spaciousness before beginning his work. This simple shift transformed his entire practice. Ideas emerged more freely. Clients responded more positively, and solutions appeared with surprising synchronicity. By relaxing his grip on outcomes, he invited the universe to collaborate rather than comply. The teaching reveals a profound paradox. The less we strain, the more effectively we create. Tension distorts the field of possibility, while relaxation allows it to arrange itself in optimal patterns. This is not laziness, but aligned action, moving with the current rather than against it. When you release the need to control every detail, you open space for universal intelligence to work through you. Your role shifts from forcing to flowing, from demanding to dancing with possibility. The practice settles sweetly. Rest your shoulders, smile for no reason, feel energy working lovingly on your behalf. Chapter 24. The Light of Perspective. In a small seaside town, Bonnie Day carried the weight of every setback like stones in her pockets. Each unexpected bill, each missed opportunity, each delayed dream felt like divine punishment for some unknown transgression. The more she interpreted life's events as personal attacks, the heavier her steps became, until even the simplest tasks felt like walking through deep water. One evening, while watching the sunset paint the waves in gold, she encountered an elderly woman who would change everything. The woman, a retired teacher named Agnes, noticed Bonnie's troubled expression and shared tea with her at a weathered boardwalk cafe. "The universe speaks in patterns," Agnes said, stirring honey into her cup. "What we call punishment is simply feedback showing us where our energy needs adjustment." As they talked, Bonnie began to see how her interpretation of events had created a self-fulfilling prophecy. Her belief in punishment had generated a frequency of unworthiness, which the quantum field faithfully reflected back to her. Under Agnes's gentle guidance, Bonnie learned to view life's challenges as coded messages rather than penalties. When her car broke down, instead of cursing her bad luck, she recognized it as an invitation to slow down and notice what she had been missing in her rush. When a relationship ended, she saw it as the universe creating space for something more aligned with her true desires. As her perception shifted, so did her vibration. The quantum field, ever responsive to emotional frequency, began orchestrating events that matched her new understanding. Opportunities appeared with natural timing, and even difficulties carried obvious gifts of growth and revelation. Later that year, Oliver Nash discovered this same principle through his own journey. After losing his business, he stood at a crossroads. Instead of viewing the closure as failure, he chose to see it as a redirect toward something better. He began treating each setback as a stepping stone, each obstacle as a sign pointing toward greater alignment. Within months, Oliver found himself leading a more fulfilling venture that would never have emerged had he remained in his original business. His willingness to reframe challenge as opportunity had altered the quantum resonance he emitted, attracting circumstances that matched his elevated perspective. The wisdom reveals itself. Reality reflects the meaning we assign to it. When we change our interpretation, we change the vibrational signature we broadcast to the universe. The quantum field then reorganizes itself to match our new frequency of understanding. The practice. When contrast appears in your experience today, pause and quietly ask, what gift are you delivering? Feel genuine gratitude for the revelation being offered. Let this simple shift in perception transform the energy you emit into the field. Chapter 25. The Wave You Ride. In the sacred teachings passed through time, Nancy Ford's tale speaks to the eternal dance between resistance and flow. Each morning, she would grip tightly to her plans, attempting to force life into rigid channels of her own design. Yet the universe, in its infinite wisdom, continued showing her that change arrives like waves, constant, powerful, and bearing gifts for those who learn to ride them. The deeper truth reveals itself. Existence flows like an infinite ocean, not a battlefield to be conquered. Those who stand rigid against its currents exhaust themselves, while those who learn its rhythms discover an effortless grace. You are not here to fight against life's movements, but to attune yourself to its natural pulse. When you resist change, you create turbulence in the quantum field. This resistance manifests as stress, struggle, and stagnation. But when you align with change, seeing it as the very essence of growth, you tap into an ancient power, the ability to transmute challenge into opportunity. Later, Vernon Hale embraced this wisdom when his business faced unexpected upheaval. Instead of bracing against market shifts, he chose to move with them, adjusting his approach with each new development. What appeared as chaos to others became his greatest advantage. By remaining flexible, he discovered hidden opportunities within each challenge, turning potential setbacks into stepping stones for expansion. This teaching illuminates a fundamental truth. Stability does not come from rigidity, but from cultivating an inner balance that allows you to flow with life's currents while maintaining your center. Like a skilled surfer, you learn to read the waves of change, feeling their energy, and using their momentum to carry you forward. The quantum field responds not to force, but to fluidity. When you release resistance, you free energy that was once bound in struggle. This liberated energy becomes available for creation, innovation, and growth. The universe speaks in the language of change, each shift an invitation to evolve, each challenge a gateway to greater wisdom. The practice. When plans shift unexpectedly, pause and take a deep breath. Feel your feet firmly planted on the earth, yet maintain softness in your stance. Allow curiosity to replace concern, and imagine yourself riding the wave of change with the same joy a surfer feels when catching the perfect wave. Let laughter bubble up naturally as you recognize the dance of life unfolding through you. This is not merely adaptation. It is the art of quantum surfing, where each moment of flexibility becomes a moment of power. Chapter 26. The Heart of Creation. In the timeless traditions of manifestation, there exists a sacred secret whispered through the ages. Lillian Pope discovered this truth not through complex rituals or elaborate ceremonies, but through a simple shift in her approach to creation. For years, she had diligently followed every technique and formula she could find, meticulously crafting vision boards and repeating affirmations with clockwork precision. Yet her desires remained distant, like stars just beyond reach. One morning, as sunlight streamed through her window, Lillian abandoned her usual manifestation routine. Instead, she sat quietly and allowed her heart to fill with pure love, love without reason or requirement. In that moment, something extraordinary occurred. The very atmosphere around her seemed to soften and respond. Within days, opportunities she had long sought began appearing effortlessly, as if drawn by an invisible magnet. The universal law reveals itself. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field 5,000 times stronger than your brain. When you operate from mental formulas alone, you access only a fraction of your creative power. But when you activate the heart's field through genuine love, you tap into the most potent force of attraction in human experience. This truth extends beyond mere manifestation. It touches the very essence of creation itself. Love is not simply an emotion. It is the primary instruction that tells energy how to gather and form. When you feel love purely, without attachment to outcomes, you align with the original creative force of the universe. Ralph King's story illuminates this principle further. Frustrated with life's seemingly random nature, he began a simple practice of expressing heartfelt appreciation for everything he encountered, from the morning dew to passing strangers. He would pause throughout his day to feel genuine affection for his world, regardless of circumstances. Within weeks, his reality transformed. Relationships deepened, opportunities multiplied, and even his physical environment seemed to respond with greater harmony. His experience teaches us that love is not just a feeling, it is a frequency that the universe recognizes and mirrors. When you emanate love, you create a resonant field that attracts similar energies. Your heart becomes a beacon, calling forth experiences that match its radiance. The quantum field responds not to what you think, but to what you radiate. Mental concepts may point the way, but it is the heart's electromagnetic broadcast that actually draws manifestation into form. This is why those who approach creation through love often manifest more quickly than those who rely on technique alone. Ancient wisdom holders knew this secret well. Love is not the means to an end, it is the end itself. When you generate love without cause, you perform the ultimate creative act. You demonstrate trust in the universe's natural abundance and align yourself with its endless flow of giving. The practice. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. Place your awareness gently in your heart center. Recall something or someone you absolutely adore, a beloved pet, a cherished memory, a moment of pure joy. Allow that feeling of love to expand within your chest until it feels like a warm sun. Now, without trying to direct it anywhere specific, let that love radiate outward in all directions, as if your heart were a lighthouse beaming pure affection into the world. Continue until you sense the very air around you shimmering with this frequency of love. Chapter 27. The Mastery of Contrast. Your heart's magnetic field speaks a language more ancient and potent than any words could convey. When you release the mental formulas and allow love to lead, the quantum field responds with unprecedented speed and grace. This truth unveils itself through Ethel Green's journey from resistance to revelation. Ethel faced each obstacle as though it were a wall, solid and unyielding. Her manifestations seemed to stall at every turn, each setback feeling like a personal affront from the universe. Yet in her darkest moment of despair, she stumbled upon an ageless wisdom. Contrast serves as the great clarifier of desire. As she began to understand this principle, the universe's natural polarity revealed its purpose. Just as light defines shadow and warmth gives meaning to cold, each challenge she encountered sharpened her awareness of what she truly desired. The obstacles she once cursed became signposts, each one pointing more precisely toward her authentic path. This quantum truth echoes through existence. Opposition creates definition. Without the contrast of what you don't want, how could you recognize what you do? The universe, in its infinite wisdom, uses polarity not to obstruct, but to illuminate your deepest preferences. Ronnie Wade's story mirrors this transformation. Where once he saw only failure, he learned to perceive guidance. Each setback became a teacher, each disappointment a refining fire. As he began blessing these contrasts instead of fighting them, his path clarified with remarkable swiftness. The very challenges that once seemed to block his way now served as stepping stones toward greater understanding. His shift in perspective demonstrated a fundamental law. Resistance creates persistence, while acceptance allows transformation. By embracing contrast as an educator rather than an enemy, Ronnie discovered that clarity often arrives wrapped in challenge's clothing. These stories illuminate a profound truth about the quantum nature of creation. Contrast serves not to discourage, but to direct. Each obstacle you encounter carries within it the seeds of greater clarity. When you resist these challenges, you resist the very guidance designed to lead you toward your highest good. The practice. Choose one challenge currently present in your life. Sit quietly with it, breathing gently. Rather than pushing against it, thank it for helping to refine your focus. Notice how this simple shift from resistance to gratitude creates an immediate sense of relief. Feel how this acceptance opens new pathways of possibility, allowing the universe's guidance to flow more freely through your experience. Chapter 28. The Time Illusion. In the quiet moments between heartbeats, a deeper wisdom unfolds. A truth known to masters across ages reveals itself through Fei Young's awakening to time's fluid nature. Fei Young lived by the calendar's rigid march. Each morning began with counting, days until her dream would manifest, hours until success might arrive, minutes until life would finally begin. She created vision boards marked with specific dates, believing the universe would bend to her schedule. Yet as the dates passed without her desired manifestations, frustration mounted. The more she watched time, the more it seemed to stretch endlessly before her, carrying her dreams always just beyond reach. The quantum field holds no calendar. It responds not to dates but to resonance, not to deadlines but to energetic readiness. When you rush toward tomorrow, you split your power between now and then, diluting the very force that brings dreams into form. Time is not a linear path, but a spiral dance, moving to the rhythm of your inner state. Through silent observation, Fei discovered that when she released her grip on when, the how began to flow. As she learned to rest in the present moment's perfection, life accelerated naturally. Her manifestations arrived not according to schedule, but in perfect synchronicity with her vibration. This truth deepened through Melvin Rogers' experience. After years of marking time, he chose to enter what mystics call the eternal now. He stopped counting days and began counting blessings. He ceased pushing against time and started flowing with it. To his amazement, opportunities that once seemed distant suddenly appeared as though they had always been waiting. His dreams manifested not through force, but through alignment with the timeless field of all possibility. What appeared as patience was actually perfect alignment. When you sync with the quantum field's natural rhythm, manifestation occurs not in time, but through it. The universe operates in the eternal now, where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Your role is not to force timing, but to match the frequency of your desire. The mystery reveals itself. What seems like waiting is often the universe orchestrating countless details on your behalf. When you trust the process, time becomes your ally rather than your adversary. Each moment holds infinite potential, waiting to be activated by your conscious awareness. The practice slows sweetly. Move today as though you are never late for your destiny. Feel eternity breathe through now. Chapter 29. The Quantum Prayer. In the depths of an ancient temple, a timeless truth lay waiting to be uncovered. Agnes Bird knelt daily in her garden, hands clasped tightly, voice strained with desperate pleas to the universe. Each morning and night she begged for change, for abundance, for love to enter her life. Yet the more she beseeched, the more distant her desires seemed to drift. Until one dawn, as sunlight filtered through morning mist, Agnes witnessed a butterfly landing effortlessly on a flower. In that moment, she understood. The butterfly did not beg the flower for nectar. It approached in perfect trust, in natural partnership with life itself. The quantum field responds not to begging but to being. When you enter the sacred space of manifestation, you step into partnership with universal intelligence. Prayer becomes not a petition from lesser to greater, but a harmonious dance between co-creators. You and the universe move as one, each step synchronized in trust. Through this revelation, Agnes transformed her approach. Rather than kneeling in supplication, she sat in serene knowing. Rather than pleading for future change, she felt present gratitude. Her prayers shifted from desperate requests to quiet conversations with an intimate friend. The universe, she discovered, was not a distant authority to be appeased, but a loving partner in creation. This truth echoes through Clyde Peters' experience. Each evening, before any external sign appeared, he would sit in his study and whisper, "Thank you," for the outcome he desired. He felt the warmth of gratitude for things yet unseen, knowing they were already complete in the quantum field. Within weeks, opportunities aligned, circumstances shifted, and his desires manifested with remarkable precision. The quantum field responds to the vibration of completion. When you thank the universe in advance, you emit the frequency of fulfillment. This signals to the field that manifestation is not a future event, but a present reality. Gratitude becomes the highest form of prayer because it acknowledges the perfection of what is, while simultaneously drawing forth what will be. The practice. Find a quiet moment as the day begins to settle. Breathe deeply into your heart center. Choose one desire that feels alive within you. Rather than asking for it, thank the universe as though it is already complete. Let gratitude fill your being until peace washes over you. Rest in this feeling of divine completion, knowing the universe has already answered. Chapter 30. The Once You Master Moment. Through the eternal dance of creation, you are now ready to embrace the final truth, that you have always been the creator, merely waiting to remember. This wisdom echoes through the story of Tilly Carter, who spent years searching for mastery outside herself, until the moment she recognized that she was, in every breath, creation expressing itself. In quiet moments of reflection, Tilly discovered that manifestation wasn't something to achieve, but rather a natural state to remember. Each time she forgot this truth, life would gently guide her back through experiences that reminded her of her creative essence. When doubt clouded her mind, she would pause and witness how her thoughts shaped the atmosphere around her. When fear gripped her heart, she would breathe deeply and feel how her emotions rippled through the quantum field. The universe revealed itself as her faithful mirror, reflecting back the exact frequency she embodied. In moments of joy, synchronicities flourished. In states of gratitude, abundance flowed. In periods of peace, harmony prevailed. She realized that mastery wasn't about perfection, but about returning again and again to this simple truth. She was creation in motion. Glenn Ward's journey illuminated another facet of this wisdom. After awakening to his creative power, he felt called to share these truths with others. As he guided fellow seekers to recognize their own divine nature, he witnessed an extraordinary multiplication of creative force. Each person he helped awaken became a new center of conscious creation, expanding the field of possibility for all. Through service, Glenn discovered that power doesn't diminish when shared. It amplifies. Every time he helped someone remember their creative essence, his own manifesting ability strengthened. The quantum field responded not just to individual awareness, but to the collective awakening of consciousness. Together, these stories reveal the ultimate truth. You are not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are that force expressing itself in human form. When you fully embody this understanding, the shift in consciousness becomes permanent. No longer do you seek to attract or manifest. You simply allow creation to flow through you naturally, effortlessly, eternally. The practice resonates wholly. Step into this moment embodying calm mastery, knowing that every breath co-creates universes in motion within you and around you. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. The quantum law closes where it began, within your awareness. In this sacred moment of recognition, you understand that the power was never hidden in distant mysteries or complex formulas. It has always resided in the quiet center of your being, waiting for you to remember. You are not merely a participant in creation, but creation itself expressing through human form. Every thought you hold, every emotion you nurture, every belief you maintain creates ripples through the quantum field. These ripples return as the circumstances of your life, faithful reflections of your inner state. The mastery you seek requires no achievement, only remembrance. You have always been broadcasting your frequency into the universe. You have always been receiving its perfect response. The shift in consciousness happens naturally when you recognize yourself not as a victim of circumstances, but as their architect. Each event that unfolds now becomes a loving dialogue with your deeper self. Challenges reveal themselves as teachers, guiding you back to alignment. Successes mirror your moments of clear intention. Even seeming setbacks serve as gentle course corrections, helping you refine your vibration. Your task is simple yet profound. Live in conscious awareness of your creative nature. Love without condition, for love is the highest frequency you can emit. Trust in the flawless precision of universal law, knowing that energy always seeks its matching resonance. With every breath, you are translating waves of possibility into physical reality. The universe listens with perfect fidelity to your energetic signature. You are far too magnificent, far too powerful to pretend you are anything less than the Creator experiencing itself through form. This is not a destination, but a remembrance of what has always been true. You are the field and the form, the wave and the particle, the observer and the observed. In this recognition lies the ultimate mastery.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.